It's gonna be a quick, you know what I'm saying, a quick, tape reading. Of what even is today, the 31st of last month of July, bro. Man, life goes by fast. I tell you what. I tell you what, man. This is gonna be a tape reading of Thursday though, July 31st, right? So that's Thursday, right? So we had it's gonna be like a market recap, what the market did and where I can improve personally, and yeah. So basically, what we had was FOMC yesterday. So we got this big pop and this new day opening gap race, or not the new day opening gap, but a gap right here, right? Um, uh, so right here we have this nice gap. Um, delete this stuff, right? So we had this gap. We're just gonna keep that in mind. We're coming to use that later. So basically, on ES, right, we had this daily sweep, right? This time-based liquidity swept, right? Now coming over here, right? Let's go down to the 15-minute real quick. What do we kind of have this picture to work with what we got in the daily, right? Let's turn on our sessions, right? We obviously have Asia session highs, right? Getting swept out in London, right? London fake out. Um, then we come down here, right? We sweep London high or Asia highs, right? Put in a nice model, right? We have now order flow is bearish, right, on the 1 hour. Even after we come and take Asia lows, right? Here, where's Asia lows exactly? So I'm gonna keep Asia lows, right? So even once we take Asia lows, right, we close this, pretty weakly, but I'm gonna go to the 1 hour. Get this out of here. All right, so on the 1 hour, what do we do when we sweep Asia highs, right? We're also sweeping this daily high. We inverse this 1 hour fair value gap right here. Is no real imbalances, no powerful price, right? Just a lot of low resistance liquidity. So we inverse this fair value gap, inverse this order block, right? What do we do on this 1 hour? Even after we sweep this little, these kind of little lows right here on the 1 hour, pop back up, respect this inversion order block. Don't even come back into this inverse fair value gap. Um, and we continue to push down harder, right? So now that we have this, time-based model set in place, overall, we're probably likely to come to sell side of the model, right? This is buy side up here, or buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve, right? We put in a model right here. Now NQ on the other hand, right, not quite as clean, right? We do sweep out Asia lows and come down pretty discerningly. Once again, respect um, inversion order block right here, and come and shoot all the way down, right? Um, I'm not gonna lie though, I was kind of looking at this wrong, right? I was just kind of like, well, we have this really nice trend up, right? We just got all these sweeps, right? I don't really see a reason to come down to this low, right? We've gotten all these sweeps, right? We just moved up, right? You know, came down here. I'm thinking this is more of a retracement move, but in all reality, right, we're sweeping this 4 hour daily high, right? Sweeping Asia lows, and the price action we're seeing is pretty bearish, right? We get a bearish 1 hour model, right, on ES especially. NQ is not as clean, but NQ is moving down even weaker, right? But anyways, where I took my trade, I took a long right here. I got stopped at break even, full transparency. Um, in all reality, if I saw this as it really was, as a sell model, right, I would have took profits way earlier on this. I was thinking this down movement is just a retracement. Also notice how NQ closed a lot more weak as well. Right, so that was more telling as well. Yes, was when we were getting popped in this up off this wick, I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're definitely expansion move, right? This is just a small retracement down, and we're getting expansion move higher. In reality, this was a retracement move up a little bit and expansion move down, right? Because why? We had this time-based liquidity model right here, telling us basically that price probably wants to go lower. Um, on top of that, coming into the day, right? We close down, we come down, right? We take this, we come to this, new day opening gap right here. Take this low right here, this Asia session lows. I'm like right now, okay. I was thinking now we're gonna go and shoot up for all-time highs right now. Right? We made a retracement. Where else are we gonna retrace to, right? This is the most obvious area, right? This liquidity right here, this new day opening gap, very big points of confluence. Same thing on NQ, right? We're in this new day opening gap, dropping down right into this imbalance. I'm thinking, yep, now's our time to, and I'm gonna do this real quick as well. Yeah, I mean, that's been met. I'm thinking, yeah, probably we want to retrace and go to all-time highs, but that's just not the case today. That is not the case at all. right? In reality, this is just a good area for a retracement, right? So I'm going to show you guys where I took my trade at. So as we sweep this liquidity, right, come down to this liquidity right here, into the new day opening gap right here, pop right into it, right, sweep this low, right, get a jabbing low. Like, look at this price action, right? And then we get a tiny little, shit, man. What the fuck is that about? All right, anyways, remember that. I'm trying to see if we get another, yeah, okay. All right, so we get this little sweep right here, internal model, right, low, high, right, sweep out this high, fake down. This kind of like a indecision candle, right? This is a nice, sweep of this low, though. We come jab out of this, right? And look at price action um, after we sweep this low, right? We come shooting back up, right? Make this jab. I'm gonna go on the 30 seconds as well, right? Because this, in all reality, was a lower time frame trade, right? We inverse this fair value gap, make a higher high, right? I'm getting in right here as I'm seeing fair value gap, most likely fair value gap again, right? Closing, making this change in the state, inversing this PD ray, inversing this order block, right? This is looking really good to me, right? This is strong price action on this internal model. In reality, I probably should have targeted these highs and this 1 hour, or sorry, this 1 hour order block, right? All aligned with standard deviation of the model as well, right? So that was a really good trade. Just good entry, right? Because we're in place for a retracement, right? When we're making this move down, right? Odds are, there's no liquidity that we're really reaching. We've taken all the low resistance liquidity, right? We have big imbalances, right? But no liquidity to, come grab. So we're likely, in all reality, to probably retrace right here, right, in this area. Right, this is a big area of confluence. Um, there's no liquidity below us, right? We probably need a retracement before we come, fill this final objective, right? But the thing I was off about today was the final objective, right? I was thinking the final objective is, this is just a down retracement move right here, and we're gonna pop up off of here. In reality, this was the down move, retracement back up, and then we fill the objective lower, right? And why is this once again hammering this in? Because I gotta hammer this in for myself, bro. Is we have the higher time frame liquidity backing it, time-based liquidity model telling us lower, right? Where's that liquidity at, right? All the way down here at this consolidation, right down here. This is the consolidation that we're talking about, right? These consolidated lows. And then also, I forgot to mention. Oh yeah, on the 1 hour, like this is we get this major sweep right here, really big model, big sweep right here. The fact that this is going to be where we retrace at, like this low after we sweep in this, we're going to reverse. Not so likely, right? This is such a smaller low, right? And also notice on NQ we're kind of even weaker with the close. But yeah, then you could have got even a better trade right here, short all the way down, right when we come up in this order block on the 1 hour, right? Put in a little model. The thing I don't like about that though is we don't really have any other liquidity sweeps to go with it, as far as buy side getting swept in here. It's because we really don't sweep any liquidity. There's no like real SMTs or anything like that super strong in here, and also it's kind of later in the day, um, but it does work out, right? It does work out eventually. I want to see something here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the day. Let me go over my notes real quick just so y'all can see, right? Um, so understand that clear time-based liquidity is the first and most important thing in the draw process, and that's what's going to most likely play out, right? Don't lean into the trend and like try to predict things really. Let that chart kind of tell you what's going on, right? Um, see, obviously it was telling you it wasn't ready to fully move down yet, right? You gotta just use your context and keep it alive, right? So, and big thing we learned today is that time-based liquidity and more clear, obvious liquidity is what's going to do it, right? But yeah, there's no way in telling like how we're going to do this, right? When we see us, showing signs of retracement here in the spot where we could most likely see a retracement, um, you can take that long, even though we're coming down eventually, right? You can take that long and target, short-term targets because it's a retracel. And then from there, once we've retraced, now we're ready to go back down, right? And target liquidity, which we eventually do. So, you can kind of get the gist of what's overall going to happen, but you have to kind of wait for it to show you how it's going to happen. And then you can enter and align with that. Um, so yeah, that's it for today. Yeah. Shit. Shit, bro.